Hi everyone. Today I'm going to cover Your Throne. Hope you all will enjoy this video and subscribe for more content. The story starts with a view of a castle. Someone shouts, "Congratulations, Your Highness! What a lovely couple you make." It was a day blessed even by the winds. The crowd was cheering. As story continues, we see the first heir to the throne of the Vasilius Empire, Eros Orna Vasilius, and the only daughter in the house of Count Callista, Psyche Callista. Today was the joyous day of their engagement. A girl in purple dress standing in front of crowd seems unhappy. She said to herself that it was as if they had completely forgotten. She was wearing a purple stone necklace and seems to be angry. She said that I was meant to be their crown princess. I've heard they'll be heading to a resort in the south. Two guys standing in crowd said, "Didn't Lady Psyche lose the crown princess contest? His Highness must be quite partial to her." The other guy said, "Well, he has no choice." The Solons were accused of attempting to assassinate a member of the imperial family. He included about that. There are rumors that His Highness had falsely accused them so that he could be with Lady Psyche. Hey, watch it. That guy shouts, "Why should I?" His Highness has made it official that he is turning his back on the Solons. The House of Solon is done for now. With Lady Medea's temper, it won't be easy to find a new suitor. At least she still has her looks. Maybe I should propose. Someone interrupts saying, "Hey." It was Lady Medea. The other guy suddenly put his hand on the face of first guy and make him silent. Lady Medea. The eldest daughter in the house of Duke Solon, Medea Solon. A girl standing before her says, "My lady, there's no need to waste your time on lowly vermin such as these." The guy standing there seems to be uncomfortable. Medea glare at him. She turns back and say, "I'll remember you." Then we see a royal vehicle going somewhere. One of that guy says, "She just left? Without punishing us?" The other guy said, "Ha ha. You see, the Solons have had their day. Don't you realize that silence weighs heavier than 1,000 words?" Changing scenes, we saw a view of a city. Someone asking, "Did you hear?" A boy with a woman walking on street asks what happened. The lady tells they found a corpse in the river. Apparently, the guy slipped and fell in. She included, but what's strange is, the corpse had its tongue cut out. Changing scenes, we saw Lady Medea lost in her thoughts. Walking with a boy, she asked, "Brother, how is mother doing?" The boy replied, "She's a-leaning." Then we see the door opens and they both enters the room where a man wearing glasses whipping his face with towel was standing before a man in royal dress holding hand of a lady asking to that man, "Tell me the truth, doctor. I'll be fine." That man tells to him that the Duchess has been rather sickly from birth, and it seems that her condition deteriorated during her imprisonment. He countenance by the end of this year, she may no longer. The other man shouts with anger, "What?" and started throwing things in anger. The doctor says, "See, calm yourself, Your Grace." "Father." Ever since that girl appeared, everything has been a mess. Some servants around Lady Medea started giving her ideas. One said, "Shall we send someone over to the resort?" Others said, "I heard they won't be accompanied by any guards, so she should be an easy target." The third one said, "We'll teach that wench a lesson." Lady Medea says, "It's fine. She's not to be taken care of like that old man. If Psyche is attacked now, His Highness will come for my head first." She gripping her cloth says, "But still, my anger refuses to subside. Right now Psyche wearing a light blue dress holding her hat was staring at something, was standing somewhere. "What are you looking at? Come and have a look. Over here," pointing towards a shop. She said, "I have many beautiful trinkets on display. I want to send a gift to Lady Medea." The boy standing before her asks after how she's harassed you. "There's not an ounce of hatred in your heart." She replies, "I'm sure she's waiting for me to make amends." The shopkeeper holding a box said this one is popular among tourists. While she was sitting in front of him, The shopkeeper countenance it's been crafted using local minerals that cannot be found elsewhere. Doesn't its color remind you of the beautiful ocean? The boy started thinking something and said H.A. She asked him, what is it? He replied, it's nothing. What a rare gift. He countenanced saying, choose that one. I too, am curious to see how Lady Medea will react. While changing scenes, we saw Lady Medea sitting on a chair staring at the gift which was placed on table in front of her. A servant appears and tells it was her lady's order that I see you open the gift. A lady servant standing behind Lady Medea shouts, how dare she? Lady Medea said, hush. It's nothing too difficult. She is the future crown princess. Who am I to disobey? But I'm worried. I may not be able to hide my disappointment should the gift not be satisfactory. The servant stands in front of him silently giving no expressions. Lady Medea picks the gift box and looks at it. Then she taps the box on the table and said, I see that her lady has taken great care in choosing her gift this time. She said, I'll send her a reply shortly. The servant bowed his head and replied, I shall relay your message. The door closed and the lady servant says, He's gone. My lady. Lady Medea picks a lamp and throws it in anger. The lady servant shouts, please calm yourself. Lady Medea! Your hand is bleeding. The box opens and we see a broken ring felt on ground. Lady Medea shouts, how dare she? Asterisk, how dare you? After you cheated to become the crown princess? Asterisk, how dare you send me this cheap trinket as a gift? You dare to mock me? Closing her hand, she said, fine. We shall see who gets the last laugh. In the next scene we saw the Count's manor. A woman named Nanny asked, did you get enough rest? How are you feeling? Lady Psyche replied, you worry too much, Nanny. My lady, the House of Solon has sent these flowers, Nanny said. A letter. Lady Psyche said, and counted your reading letter, dear Lady Psyche. I send you these flowers in returns for your gift. Their scent is known to help with sleep. South placed them at your bedside. Would you care to join me for tea soon? We have so much to catch up on after the Crown Princess competition. Lady Psyche shudders and say nothing. Nanny asked, are you that happy, my lady? A girl standing behind them said, it's not like Lady Medea to send you such a letter. Lady Psyche with a happy face replied, I'd like to believe that my sincerity has finally reached her. Invite her over as soon as possible. Lady Medea holding a bottle of a suspicious purple liquid, saying, I have you now, Pisky. My apologies for such a hasty invitation, Lady Medea, Lady Psyche said. She countenanced, I must be at the temple tomorrow. Lady Medea replied, no need for apologies. I've brought some tea and sugar for us to share. A sugar cube falling in cup of a tea placed on the table making a sound, plop. A cube of sugar will make the tea taste richer, Lady Medea said. You are so knowledgeable, Lady Medea, Lady Psyche replied to her while tasting the tea. Lady Medea with a suspicious look asked, how is it? She replied, it's very fragrant. Lady Medea said, I'm glad you like it. The nanny, while watching them having a conversation, said, how could they converse so normally? The orphan maid replied, I was so worried she might do something to Lady Psyche. The nanny asked her to lower her voice. Lower your voice. Lady Medea said, I see that you are dearly loved by your servants. I heard that you treat them like family, regardless of status. Lady Psyche replied, thank you. Lady Medea replied, it wasn't a compliment. Must I bring myself to tell you that I can hear your maids speaking I love me? If you don't understand how they've wronged me, I shall slap them to teach them a lesson. Lady Medea, that's not necessary. Instead, let me apologize, Lady Psyche replied. My apologies for interrupting. Lady Psyche must go to the temple tomorrow, so I must ask you to leave now, Lady Medea. Lady Medea thought this must be him. Psyche's favorite knight. From the family of knights that has served the Callistas from the moment of their birth. The Callistas' guard dogs would go as far as to disobey imperial orders to protect them. She placed the cup of tea on the table making a sound, clank, said neither do I wish to stay a moment longer, after being mistreated as such. She leaves the place at the very next moment. The knight asked Nanny about Sky. Where is Lady Psyche? She replied, I heard sobbing coming from her room for a while. Shall I take a look? The nanny opens the door a little bit and sneak inside. She saw the Lady Psyche had fallen from her bed. She said, my lady. Watching the situation, a lady servant said she was fine just a moment ago. What happened? While the male servant standing there said she's burning with fever. Quick, the doctor. The knight interrupted and said, no. We cannot call just any doctor. If rumor spreads that Lady Psyche has fallen ill, she will be replaced with Lady Medea at the temple tomorrow, on the yearly day of prayer. The knight wears a black dress and said, I'll bring someone over myself. Please look after Lady Psyche. The knight shouts, Medea. While riding horse and crossing the forest, he said, the contest is over already. Why would she do something like this? But it's strange. He continued, I had checked the flowers for poison, and made sure that the teacup wasn't tampered with. They even shared tea from the same kettle. While saying this, his horse's eyes turned red and horse stopped. He said, Whoa. What's the matter, boy? We're almost there. Just a little further. His horse becomes uncontrollable and drop him down. Ugh. Jay's a gentle one. What could have spooked him? The horse leave him and run away, he shouts. Come back! While he was falled on the ground, Lady Medea in a white dress appears. She said, you seem to have survived the fall, unfortunately. He with a surprised look asks how. Lady Medea, what are you doing here? She replied, I knew you'd come. You served Psyche since you were just but a boy, did you not? He was completely scared and asked, what are you talking? While saying this, Lady Medea stabbed her sword through his chest and said she will soon also experience the agony of losing everything. Chapter ends here. Hope you all enjoyed the video. Please don't forget to like and subscribe and comment for next part if you want me to continue this series. Enjoy your day.